Welcome back to Shall You Proceed podcast. I am your host, Erlene, aka Elise Main. I have missed you dearly. I know you've missed me. We're all sitting at home for the time being, enjoying our own social distancing. So I wanted to have today someone that is amazing, phenomenal, beautiful, motivational, Miss Tanya J. Miller. She is an author, certified life coach, motivational speaker, 18 years experience saving lives, helping lives, shaping people. Author of 6 books. 2 have called Mind Matters, Get Out of Your Head and Jump into Life. I love that title. And the other one, Things My Mama Said, which we should all listen to, but we probably have not listened to. I mean, it is what it is. You have your degree in business management and finance, but you're a motivational speaker. You are a motivational speaker, author, certified life coach. So please tell us who you are. Welcome to the show. Round of applause for you.
Listen, Miss Elise and Miss Erlene.
Yes, ma'am.
I gotta call both them names. She about to make me drop a tear, y'all. Listen, how we gonna proceed after that? She gonna make me drop a tear.
No.
But no, seriously, I'm definitely honored to be here to talk on, this subject that we're gonna dig into. But a little bit about me, all the things she said, and it's all because I want to help you to figure out how to fit the puzzle pieces of life together so you can do life right and you can do it well. So that is my heart. That is my passion. That is why I'm here, because more than anything, you have to do life and leadership unapologetically on purpose, because that is why you're. And so we're going to dig into it today. We're going to talk. We're going to rap about it. And we definitely are going to help you to proceed in this life after all of this that we're going through and what we're dealing with now. So I'm ready, Miss Ely.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you and I respect what you do. I just honor so many people who have made it their mission in life to help others. That's very selfless. And I know as selfless as that is, it can get exhausting and it can get taxing and pulling on your mind, body, and spirit. So before we get into how we help others, how are you doing? What's going on with you right now with all this going on, and how are you adjusting?
Absolutely. I think, the crazy thing about it is that I don't use the word social distancing early. I use the word, if anything, we're public distancing, but we're not social distancing. We actually are making and having to be more intentional about how we're interacting socially so that we don't become distant. So I actually just use the word public distancing. And so I've literally found myself, kind of just being honest, taking for granted the ability to go see my mom and my dad, or to go see, my sister-in-law and all of them, and other family members, because I got a ton here now that we're back home. So I think I took that for granted. And so I find myself talking to my mom or my mom and my dad or some of my cousins at least like a couple of days a week via video chat. Literally, I just be like, let me see your face. I need to see your eyes. You all right? Yeah. What's going on? Let me see
Even
the
if it's
house.
just like for a minute or 2 minutes, you're okay. Yes.
So I definitely have found myself doing that. And then, early, I done had to go on and spring clean. I didn't want to. Listen. I did not want to, but I done had to do a little bit. My husband asked me, so
I'm there
I had
with
to
you.
Do a little, y'all.
I'm there with
I wasn't
you.
ready. It forced me. So that brought some tears, and it wasn't tears of happiness. It was tears of,
well, you know what they say, when it hurts the most and it's most uncomfortable time for you to do it. Okay.
I know.
And I felt some serious discomfort in my house. So I was like, I don't need that. Well, I ain't seen that in a long time. Let me just go ahead and declutter. But it was hard.
Listen, you told me we was gonna be real, so I had to tell y'all the truth. Listen, I didn't do it. It was strong tears. I was like, I'm gonna fight this. Can I fight it? Can I pull 2 weeks more out of this? The answer was no. I had to start.
It was hard. It was hard for me. Yes. Yeah. So I'm glad you're finding your way and you're not letting this, drain you. So what made you go from business management, finance degree to life coach, motivational speaker, author? What's that journey?
Childhood. it was a part of the process. I can't necessarily say I was expecting to do all of it, but I knew the corporate path was just kind of the investment piece of it to
Mhm.
fund the dream and to
Right.
fund the entrepreneurship side of it. And so that's what I had always knew I was doing all along. My dad has been an entrepreneur my entire life. In addition to that, just put it out 100, which I'm a PK. My dad is a pastor. So I've been public speaking forever, y'all. Like
Mhm.
they be like, if don't nobody else get the mic, you gonna get up and say something. Here you go. Say
Yeah.
something. Say something.
Yeah.
So that has been a part of the process as well. And so quite naturally, just being able to public speak and to talk about and encourage people, inspire people, motivate people, even that early, it's been a part of the journey. That's how you see the 18 years of working with women, youth, teens, all of it, because that's part of what I lived and it was what I just did because it was just who I was. The corporate piece has just been the investment side of things. That's just been how to make the money till I
Mhm.
get to where I know I'm trying to go. And
Right.
so that's what it's been about. Even the writing, I found myself looking back of different pieces and parts of my life where I wrote books, or in sixth grade, my friend and I, who are now both published authors, were writing a book together in sixth grade. It got destroyed. I ain't gonna tell y'all how, but it nonetheless, we both the authors now. So even in sixth grade, we knew we wanted to write and to be authors even then. So, it's just been a part of it. And like I said, the coaching, I was always mentoring. I was always helping and pouring. And it's just been a part of who I am. The corporate side of it, that was me bringing, the strategists and the leadership development and organizational strategy. That's what I do from what I do corporately. So I brought a piece of that. I was like, no, 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 let me bring some of that to the table too.
Yeah.
So that's where I do some of that work as well. And executive coaching and leadership. So yeah, it's
And
just
it's
been
nice
a
to
part
have
of the
those
journey.
layers. Some people, I think that all of us need to have many layers to our career and what our talents are. You
Mm-hmm.
may love something, but you have to have something else to maybe shape it a little bit differently and mold it. So you're
Mm-hmm.
helping people, but now that you have your degree in finance and business, you got another layer of motivation. Like, listen,
Yeah.
I can give you
Mm-hmm.
words of encouragement all day, but I can also help you line out your business plan and how I'm going to
Yeah.
motivate you to move forward. I mean, it's just a different thing, and people have to realize, I think, there's many ways to shape your craft, and you have to take the formal part of education and still just go through your passion and make it work. It's easy to make it work if you really want to make it work.
Earlier, you said something exactly what I tell people, because a lot of times they're ready to go and ready to quit their job and they can't financially. And so I say to them, use that job and use all of it. If they would pay for you a degree, use it for what they say you need it, but when you get to do those projects, use it for your business plan, use it for whatever you need to be able to figure out how to run your business or your nonprofit the way you want. Sign up for those classes that they offer that are just straight free, those webinars, those brown bags. Use that job and use it all, because you can use it to build what you're trying to build, and you can make it what you need it to be. Like you said, you can mold it,
Hmm.
and you can help it to help you go to the next layers and levels of your purpose. So that was so
Absolutely.
much. I know we don't went there, but somebody needs to hear that today, because
No,
they needed
no,
to know why they were
listen,
still there, because they trying to figure out why they still there,
give
and
it to
that's why.
them. Give it to them. Because
Yes.
sometimes, to me, that's in a way you can find your happiness in what you're doing in the present, because you know that you're gathering those seeds of what you need for
Yes.
the other part of your life. People ask me, what do I love doing more? And I said, I love both. I'm a librarian. I love what I do,
Hmm.
and I also love podcasting. I love what I do. And I have to
Hmm.
say that being a librarian, history major, sociology major, a librarian, has led me to what I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? And I never look at things, oh, I wish I did it sooner.
Woo.
I wasn't ready to do it then.
Listen,
I,
we
I
gonna
want
have
to
too
be able to
much fun
appreciate
today.
it. I couldn't appreciate it then. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I look at all the
Yes.
things that have happened in my life that led me to this point, the joys, the pains, the hurts, the
Hmm.
frustration. But I needed to go through those steps, and I have to appreciate them so this can be successful. I can't regret that. You know what I
I'm
mean?
about to throw a
Because
shoe at you, Earlene. I'm about to throw a shoe. Listen,
As
you
long as
like
it's cute.
literally
Throw it,
say
girl. As long as it's
you
cute.
you literally say exactly what I tell people when they say, "Do you have regrets? Would you change anything?" I'm like, no, because if I wouldn't have went through that, I wouldn't have gotten here. I wouldn't have met this person. I wouldn't have experienced that. None of it would be
Yeah.
if I change any of that. It got me to here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm about to throw a stiletto over there. Yes, I am.
Yes.
I'm
Thank
about to
you.
because you all
Size
in my business.
nine and a
You
half and
all in
10.
it.
You ain't gonna get it back. But that even goes in relationships. I recently had to just one thing I have to say, and it's about I had to reevaluate how I pray about things
Mhm.
and stop doing the just show me and not listen.
Uh huh.
Like, I asked for something, I'm not listening, right?
Yeah.
And even after that, still being obedient in what I say I'm going to do. If I ask for something to
Mhm.
be revealed and you show it to me, don't fall back because it looks nice now, it's sweet or whatever, or I'm questioning whether it really came back around is a reason. No, no. Move forward,
Yeah,
do what you have to do.
and the crazy thing about you saying prayer and bringing that up is the fact that part of this that we're experiencing in COVID-19
Mm-hmm.
is that there is a whole lot of time that you can sit in the stillness of that peace and that quietness and actually hear him
Ooh,
if you let him.
listen.
You can hear him if you let him. If you because so much we've been having noise, we've been having all these things and errands and all of this extra. You don't got that no more. No, 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 you don't. Now you got time. So what will you do with that time? Will you sit in that stillness and ask and actually wait on the answer?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, whatever your belief may be, whatever it is, when your
Yeah.
belief is in a higher power, that there's something
Mm-hmm.
greater than you,
Yes.
and you're made in an image and a reflection in a mirror,
Mm-hmm.
you have to do right by it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I don't, I don't
everyone's
care if it's
everyone's
meditating.
journey,
Even when you meditate, it's gonna
yeah,
be something that's gonna come
and
back.
everyone's journey is different. The green
Yeah.
eye of envy has to leave you. You have to realize that my time will come, and when it does, I'm going to enjoy it and rock it and move with it. And what
Mm-hmm.
I tell people during this time of um, being sat down, I said, you know what?
I'm done. She
I
said,
mean,
"You
this
done set us
it is
down.
because I have to
Set down
find,
somewhere."
yeah, I have to find the positive for me. I can't think
Mm-hmm.
about the positive for any. I have to think about the positive for me. My
Mm-hmm.
situation is different than everyone's situation, and I had to say to myself, okay,
Oh
this is
yeah.
my time to spring clean, winter, spring, and summer clean. You know what I mean? Or um, set up my stuff in my home so I can continue to do what I have to do. Make a way.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot if you can't go to the
Yes.
studio, make a way here. You have the
Yeah.
means, you have the way. He's giving you the time to do it because when life starts back up, it starts. That's when the excuses start coming. I have no excuse right now. I have no excuse to cook for myself every day. I have no excuse not to exercise or try to daily or every other day, whatever. I have no excuse to,
I heard that.
yeah, amen. I have no excuse not to manage what I have better and look at myself and my finances better. I have no excuse,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
with all of that, right now in this new world what we're coming into, right?
Yeah.
What let's start with the let's start with the youth.
Mm-hmm.
What do they need to do because they're growing up quicker now with this situation?
Oh
Responsibility is
yeah.
different. We have some kids who had to take the time away from school because homeschool is one thing to go work because parent may get furloughed or laid off.
Yeah.
There's no more jading you of what's going on because social media and news outlets are just pushing it, pushing it, pushing it. So you can't lie about what's really happening. So what do we
Mm-hmm.
have to do for our youth and what can they do to try to find a glimmer of hope in all of this?
I would say for the younger school age, elementary and that understand what's going on, I would just say provide some type of structure and sensibility even in the midst of it, because at least if you can let them know that they're safe at home, then they have some sense of security, because that's a major thing. And so structure will definitely be key. to and routine. Some type of normalcy will help as much as possible. And then not only that, not just normalcy, but then bring that element of creativity with it as well. Try not to complain around them. Try to figure out a way to, if they can't go to the park, be creative and bring the park to them. Be creative and, show them a way, because there's awesome things that are out there as tools, like virtual field trips. Y'all, they got virtual field trips,
Yeah,
but it's
museum are doing it
amazing.
too. Yeah.
Yes. So
Hmm.
find a way to take them there so that they don't feel like they're stuck, and that they're, um, because they can get anxiety too, right? So find a way to bring the creative side of things so that they know that they're safe, but they are still finding a way to have a creative and fun filled life, even if it's at home. So I would definitely would say that advice younger kids. Do you have anything that you would add to that as far as for the younger kids, the school age?
I would say, and I would, this is for all ages. Please try not
Okay,
to put upon your children your anxiety and your fear.
that's
Because
great.
as we all know right now, as we've all become more self-aware and thinking about trauma and triggers,
Hmm.
even if we do not experience it directly, we can put upon our children and our family our own personal fear to where now it's embedded in them.
Yeah.
So I know it's scary,
Hmm.
but the world has to come back around in some type of way.
Yeah. We
And
have to proceed.
we have to proceed. And,
Hmm.
I was thinking this today. I said, you know what? As too soon as I think it is, we have to try to find a way for our youth to see that there's light. These kids have lost their graduation, they've lost their
Yes.
prom, even though they may be
Yes.
seem petty to some. That's like a highlight. You've had class presidents who can't give a
Mm.
speech at graduation.
Yeah.
You have kids who were in sports waiting to do their track team to get a scholarship that got cut.
Yes.
If
Yes.
you didn't sign in the fall, what's happening? And you
Hmm.
have schools restructuring. So you have to try to give them some type of light
Yeah.
and know that, because I think I don't have any children, but I feel that the kids of today are so sheltered from what I think my generation and older, we saw the good, the bad, and the ugly. We knew that there's a
We did.
winner and a not winner.
We
We
did.
knew that you
Yes,
had
we
to
did.
work hard. You know,
Yeah.
we knew things weren't handed to you, and everyone's not
Hmm.
going to like you. We knew everyone's not going to just hand you things.
Yes.
So I think right now the reality is hitting them. You know,
Yeah.
and also I
Yeah.
think
It's a life lesson changing. Life lesson that's literally shifting their life and how they see it.
and we can't be ugly about it. Well, I told you, well, listen, this is
No,
life.
yeah.
You know what I mean? We
Hmm.
can't just say, well, when I was your age, it's different. Okay, it's different.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
explain to them. And sometimes a friend of mine, a lot of my friends have kids who are in college right now or going to college. And one of my best friends said to one of my best friends, when her son was going to college, pick your battles. I
Yeah.
can't hold him. You can't hold his hand. I can't hold her hand. Pick your battles. Know that you did what you had
Hmm.
to do. You've raised them well, but sometimes you're going to have to let them just see for themselves and, move forward, but know you trust them. If you let your children know you trust them and trust their judgment and trust their understanding, I think they can get through this, in my opinion. But
Yeah. And I would say, even for going to the older ones, I think just to encourage them, that they're not alone in this as well. They're not alone, being able to have their school prom, their senior field trip or senior day or graduation. They're not alone in it. And if there's a way, because I know I actually know a couple of nonprofits that are trying to think of ways to creatively do some things when everything opens back up and when it's safer too. Let me say
mm-hmm,
that. And they're
mm-hmm.
thinking of ways to do some things down the road to just not forget them. And so I would want to just let them know that they're not alone, and that, the same, just like you, there's a school that's in Minnesota with seniors that are, it's the same thing. There's a school in England that probably is experiencing the same thing. There's a school in China, in Italy, where this is literally a global thing,
Yeah.
not to scare you, but just to understand that everybody is having to make these hard decisions. And like you said before, that's a battle that we're fighting, and that's one that you're going to have to pick. So we're all picking and choosing to be
Mhm.
safe. And even though, we understand that this was something that you were looking forward to, but we care more about your safety. We care more about everyone's livelihood and health, that we wanted to protect you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And so if there's a way down the road, we'll do that. And so even, I know about you, but I've seen the don't rush challenges, but I've also seen the beautiful challenges where they're celebrating high school graduates in the
Yeah.
schools that they got accepted to.
Hmm.
Where I've seen it to where the dad, did an actual full on prom for his daughter, and they set it
Wasn't that
all up
amazing? I've seen a
for
few of
them.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a way that if you find it and you have the resources and means, like I said about the younger kids, bring it to them right there where they're at so that they don't feel like everything is gone. Find a way to celebrate their achievements. Find a
Yeah.
way to give them some light even in darkness.
Absolutely. So I know you have the young kids and the young adults and women.
Hmm.
So I mean, we've been fighting for a long time. Um, it is what it is. And what do you see for women coming out of this? A lot of people have lost their jobs, they're furloughed, companies are going to have to restructure, we have to
Yeah.
restructure. So what do you see for us? Because right before all this happened, there was a big movement coming around again for women of
Yeah, there
color,
was. Yeah.
and it was like the ball was rolling. It wasn't
Hmm.
rolling fast, but I mean the ball was rolling. What do you
Absolutely.
see happening for women moving forward? This is an election year. People are starting businesses. What do you see for
Hmm.
us, and what do you think we need to do to keep the motivation going to see through this and see that 2021 is coming? Like 2020, okay. What do we need to see for the over the horizon of all this?
I think number one, to remember and to remain together. That's how we were able to accomplish so much, because we started celebrating ourselves, and we started coming together and building community amongst ourselves. And then we started doing collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
So I would suggest and I would strongly encourage to keep that momentum, keep that same energy, even in
Mm-hmm.
this, after this, and going forward. Keep that same energy, because we are better together. We are able to do more when we're fighting, as one hand and one fist. If y'all remember that part in the movie
Yeah.
with all of the sisters, she Big Mama said we can fight more when we are fist, and that's the
Yeah.
truth.
Mm-hmm.
And so keep pulling together, keep coming together. Even if you have one business, I have another business, but if we can partner on something, if we can collaborate, if we can join and put an event together, keep that same energy, because when we can see one doing and we shine the light, and we can do the same thing and we can repeat it and we can keep it going. And so that definitely is it. For sure, raise your voice, let it be known, not just for the president, but all of them, all the positions, all the positions that
All of
come
it.
up, because that's where
Mhm.
we don't show up. We
Mhm.
show up for that one, but we forget about the city and the school board and all of the ones that actually make and break your day every day.
Mhm.
Show up there, y'all, and show up proud and support us. Support us. Support us. Listen, support us. Okay. I'm done. I'm not gonna go no further than that, but support us. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I would just say, as we come out of this, I'm just gonna be real. I hope you got some rest. I
Mm.
hope you took some time for yourself. I hope you realized that you could not be Superwoman, and that you was tiring yourself out and you was draining and wearing yourself out, and you come out with a better way that you can do it, not everything, but what matters most.
Right.
Because we was doing too much, and some of us were literally already at the end. and it wasn't gonna take but one more thing. And so, you know, even in, and like you said it and I both said it, we never take anything. All of the journey, all of it is what got us here. So even if you were affected by a furlough, even if you were affected by a layoff or your hours cut, look at it. Yes, that happened, absolutely, but find something in it, find the positive in it, because I ain't gonna lie. Chances are you was probably talking about, I can't wait for the weekend. I can't wait for my next holiday. I can't wait for my next
Oh, I hate
vacation.
it
And you
here.
was tired. Yeah. And you was tired and you was wore out. And so, and every time you came to work, you had an attitude because you didn't want to be there. You was ready to go. Like, listen,
Yeah,
okay, okay, so how we gonna use now this time and space until the next thing come? And if it don't come, what you finna build to replace it? Because you got it now.
yeah,
So find a way to find the positive in it and find a way to grow from it. Check
absolutely.
that, like, grow from it, y'all. We are have the ability to grow from all of this, even though we weren't planning it, even though we weren't expecting it. We all have an opportunity to grow from it and to use it for the rest of our 2020 and from then on, because we've been entered a new decade. This isn't
Yeah,
just a new year, this is a whole new decade.
it's
So
all
what
brand
about you?
new.
What would you say, with, like you said, the momentum that the women had, the black girl magic, that melanin popping, what would you say as far as what will happen after this, how we will proceed? Yes, indeed. I had to say that because that's, I feel like rapping. Shall we proceed? Yes, indeed. Okay, I'm done.
I'll tell you
But I
about that.
had to.
I'll
I
tell you that
had
towards the
to.
end. I'll tell you at the
I
show.
had
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If I can get the song on the show. Anyway,
to.
my mom used to always say one hand can't clap, so
Okay.
um I know it's hard to ask for help and admit
Oh,
you need help. And I know it has been planted in us as a people
oh yeah.
to make it and go.
Hmm.
Make it and go. Don't look back. Make it and go. I was talking to a friend of mine about that. I said, it's just, he was saying to me, why is it that certain things are the way they are? So you have to realize that we are a people, variety of ethnic groups in Africa, tribes, whatever, that we were always a village. We were a collective. We were always one. You know,
Hmm.
it was either you're helping each other, and it got taken away from us and taken out of us.
Yeah.
So
Ooh.
you go to survival mode to where
Hmm.
I'll stay back and take the brunt so you can have better. And
Yeah.
then forget about me. I want you to go better. I want you to do better and don't look back. And if you can
Hmm.
pass, you can pass. If you can make it, you can make it. Do what you have to do to get out. And we have to
Hmm.
get out of that
Wow.
mindset because people don't realize, people of color are not realizing that. And I don't want to make it an excuse, but we have to break what's not authentically who we are. And we were never born. We were kings and queens and warriors
Hmm.
to help each other. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
work together. We knew there
Yeah.
was a leader. We knew there was people who were going to be by their right and left side. But we have to remember that we need to get back to, if I succeed, you succeed. So
Yeah.
you help me, I help you, not for you to
Hmm.
reproach me or to hold over my head, but I know if I can make it and I have a resource or a skill and you have a skill, we can work together and make it some phenomenal stuff. And then who else can we bring and what else can we do?
Yeah.
People make fun of
Yeah.
Tyler Perry, of our own people make fun of Tyler Perry all the time. His
Hmm.
plays, his movies or whatever, his shows and whatnot. But you cannot deny he built his own table.
He did.
He built his own. That man owns 150 acres and built a whole entire studio so you can come make a movie. Bad Boys. Um, some other, I think the one Eddie Murphy's in it, making movies
Hmm.
for us to come at. So we have to continue that. We don't have to fit in. We don't need the approval anymore. You know what I mean? We have the resources and the ability to do it ourselves. But what I mean by that is you have your platform. I have my platform. We come together. Who else can we bring? Let's bring Janae.
Yeah.
Let's bring someone else. Let's do what we have to do. That's the way it should be. And as women,
Mm-hmm.
Society has tried to, and successfully, put Black women against each other for so
Yeah.
many reasons, because we're so
Colorism,
powerful. Oh yeah.
hairstyles,
Oh,
everything.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Jobs,
Absolutely.
positions. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Men, relationships, and you name it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we're so strong and powerful. We have been needed for the longest to nourish your children and help and mend your field. So why are you trying to keep us down? And we have to
Yeah.
realize the strength that we have. And we're so
Yeah.
much better together.
Yeah.
We need sisterhood. We need each other completely. I can't do
Mm-hmm.
this by myself.
Not
You
at
can't do
all.
this by yourself. So we
Not at
have
all.
to go through this and say, you know what? We're not going to fail. The economy, that's how it
And
looks
I
on
won't
paper.
let you fail. I'm not gonna
Right.
fail you because you're not gonna let me fail, and I'm not
No.
gonna fail because I'm not gonna let you fail.
It's not a
And we're gonna do this
competition.
thing
We're going to do this
together.
together. We
Yeah,
have to remember that we are not each other's competition. We are each other's cheerleader.
absolutely.
And there's
Mm-hmm.
enough food out there for us to all eat.
Say that again. They didn't hear you. Say it one more time.
There's enough food
It's
out there for us
enough.
to eat. There's enough. I realize the importance of having each other a long time ago. But when I started podcasting on a whole, the community that I have found in podcasters, men and women, have been so supportive. And
Mm-hmm.
it's been
I
no
have
one,
too, and I've just been interviewing the exact same.
we all may know each other in some type of way. You know what I mean? And what I
Mm-hmm.
love about it is they're all willing to help each other and promote each other. And we're not looking for anything in return. And that's the way it should be,
Absolutely,
because there's enough
absolutely,
out here for everyone. And that's to me how
absolutely.
we come out of this.
And the thing you said about Tyler Perry, not only did you see what he's done now, but
Mm-hmm.
you said it about us doing and help and being pulling each other up where you're at. And if you look at where he started, most of those same people that he started with when he was doing them plays and them what they call them little theaters is
Mm-hmm.
some of the same people that he starred as his stars in his movies, y'all.
Yeah.
And so if you can't, basically, he said, if you was gonna go with me and be a part of me when I didn't even have it, he said he was living in his car and doing these movies, but people believed in him and supported him and took a chance on him. He said, why would I not do the same? Some of them are some of the people that he has on his wall of fame that he's celebrating, that they
Mm-hmm.
got stars in his studio,
Yep.
on his floors, because they may never get stars on a Hollywood, but they stars in his eyes. And
Absolutely.
so that's the
Absolutely.
same, like that same energy. We have to do that for ourselves. The village, the community mindset, the other cultures have it. Why are we forgetting where we came from and what it looks like and what it does? So, like me and you have both said, we got to come out of this, coming out of it together. We have
Yeah.
to go back to some of those roots that we had of
Mm-hmm.
what it looks like to be there for each other and to pull your sister up and to pull back and to go back and mentor in that same school that you came
Yeah.
out of and show them that what it looks like to build success and then offer them jobs. You remember that story of that guy that last college 2019, that billionaire, I think it was either Spelman or Morehouse. He
Morehouse.
gave he paid all the student loans for all the young men that graduated. Y'all, listen, that was a whole blessing.
And I
That touched
think
my heart. But
a
it
woman
shouldn't
went
be
to
the only
Spelman,
thing.
and a
It's
woman went to Spelman and did
yeah,
different. I mean, listen, we got to come
we
out
gotta do
swinging.
that more. Yes,
We got to come out swinging. We have to. We got we
we
got to
are our
come out
brother's
swinging.
keeper.
We
We are
have
our sister's
to.
keeper.
And the thing, we
Yeah.
need to stop fighting in front of company. And what I mean by that is,
Ooh,
listen, listen.
I'm done because you're so real. You're so real. You
We
be
need to
like, why
stop
aren't y'all
fighting.
doing this?
Y'all, we need to stop fighting about foolishness in front of company.
Straight foolishness. Just so we can get a spot on Love and Hip Hop,
Stop.
on the
You,
Housewives, on the Marriage Boot Camp, on TMZ, on whatever is the
let's stop
hottest thing
fighting in
going.
company.
Like, we gotta do better because
We
them
have
should not be
to do better.
the examples that our daughters they spending money and hurting themselves and putting unimaginable things in their body to look like what you think is the level in the body of success. No, we got to do better. Because y'all see, the girl, she done almost died because she done tried to go back and work after she done did all. I ain't going to say her name, but they know who I'm talking about. I almost died, y'all. because she done tried to do all this plastic surgery after just having a baby, and then go on and go back on the stage in the next. Really,
And also we
that
have
should not be
to,
what we trying.
and also we have to, you know, and what I mean by that, people, when I say don't fight in front of company, I say it to my friends, like, what do you mean? We have to pick what we fight with amongst each other better.
Mm-hmm.
Who I pray to, what I eat, and all these things is not a battle right now. Our war is different. You know what I mean? So put aside all of that. We need to have a better focus. And
A better
also
dialogue
better
and a better
dialogue.
respect and
And
better respect.
I had a guest on my show the other day. His name is Kenneth Franklin from Matt Black Podcast, and he said he thinks the reason we are so divided because we don't even know our own agenda, and we need to come together and figure out what our agenda really is. Which
Man, that's exactly what my husband says all the time. He was like, "We don't have a leader anymore. Like
Mhm.
it's everybody trying to be." But back then, there was one. There was one that was that was speaking for us. There was one that was pulling us all together. We weren't fighting, and even if there was some in-house battles, they weren't doing it in front of company, you know.
And we
And
have to
so
stop
my husband says the same
allowing
thing.
those cancerous people to, there's always going to be one or two or three or four who are going to go
Mm-hmm.
against and have jealousy and think, why are you following him or her, not me? We
Yeah,
have to be strong enough to say, hey, don't do that. Not now. Stop it. And not feed
we got
into
too much
that.
to do.
We got too
We
much to
got too
do.
much to do.
It doesn't matter who's at the top. Is it all about who's going to get us there? Let's band behind and go. And then when they get there, we band behind someone else. You know what I mean? And that's just
Mhm.
the way it needs to be.
Yeah.
We got to do better. We just have to do better. And also, we need to, as women, we shouldn't down other women. We all have a different platform, a different voice. Our frame of reference is different. And
Yeah.
the way I present and my experience in life is not going to be yours, and vice versa. I can't say
Mm-hmm.
what you're saying and how you're doing is wrong. And you should do the same thing for me. You know, example,
Yeah.
Cardi B. Cardi B, some people hate her and love her. I'm like, but she's saying what she have to say, right? You hear she's
Mm-hmm.
a voice for someone. Let her be their
Oh
voice.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, that's
Yeah.
and she's not speaking full. If you listen to what she's trying to say, she's
Mm-hmm.
not saying anything ridiculous. You know what I mean? So that someone can relate to her. Let that
Yeah.
woman have her people she relate to and support her. I'm not saying I support the foolishness, but I understand her where her passion lies. You know what I mean? So I'm
Yeah.
not going to ever down her for where her passion lies. You know, I'm not going to down
Mm-hmm.
that. And I'm not going to down someone else. I may not agree with all that you may do, but if I know where your passion
Yes.
is, and I know that
Mm-hmm.
there's folks who can relay and understand where you're coming from, then that's your audience, because her audience is not my audience. They're not gonna listen to me.
Yeah, because I mean, she even said part of even what and why she did what she did was to be able to buy her mom a home, to do the things that they would have never been able to do before. So most of the times there is a story behind why they did and why they
Mm-hmm.
chose the path that they chose and why they did it. You know, the same thing for athletes. You know, they put in all their time and sacrifice to be able to, pay back their moms and their dads for sacrificing, or the people that took care of them for sacrificing and doing the things that they did just so that they could make a way. So absolutely, I'm not at all, and I won't ever put anybody down in that way. I just don't like some of the things that they do and how they are teaching some
Yeah,
of our younger girls to think
absolutely.
that that's the only way to love themselves. That's the part that hurts my heart, because we all are made differently. We all look different. We all have things. And one of the things that we have to learn, and you said it even the more, this generation, they don't know how to still love themselves if they don't look like everybody else. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what hurts my heart.
Yeah, and it has to, and we as grown women have to love ourselves also enough to realize that they're looking at us and what we're doing. And right now is the time with this reset on life to do things not just for self, but for everyone else coming behind us. That's just
Yes.
in my personal opinion.
No, that's the truth. That's it. And I mean, literally, we, not just your opinion, that's what we just need to do, because that's what our grandparents did. That's what our great grandparents did. And we have to start thinking about that all over again, because it happened in '08. It's happening again in our lifetime, possibly. So
Yeah.
what will we do with what we learned in '08 if this happens in 2020? What will you do? Because not many have experienced these two things happening possibly in their same lifetime, with
Yeah.
at least this close. So
Yeah.
what will we do with what we learned in '08? How will we do it differently? What will we choose to do? How will we come out of this if it happens in 2020?
Right. And we have to start putting out recommendations for solutions. People, there's a plethora of people who can just stand there and just yell out the problem, or they think what the
Everybody
problem
can cry
is.
loud. Everybody can cry loud.
You know, it's like, well, you talking about it, so what?
What's next?
And it's not people
Okay,
having an
but what's
attitude. It's
next?
like, I hear you, but okay, so what you doing
How
about it?
we gonna fix this?
What you
You
gonna
gotta
do?
play it.
You gonna just
Yeah,
sit there on
yeah.
Facebook and talk about something? You gonna sit there on Twitter
Uh,
or whatever and just what you gonna do? What,
yeah. And
and everything doesn't hit. What are you doing?
that's why I even love the fact that, you know, some of them are putting their money where their mouth is, if you will. You know, companies that are big and small are offering grants, are offering scholarships for small business women of color to continue to thrive, even if it's just $500. They've been doing it to as many as they can. They've been offering sponsorships, or, you know, free even advertising or promoting, because they are finding that they wouldn't be where they are if it wasn't for us. So
Yeah.
how dare they not go back and try and help us that are
Mhm.
trying to come up behind them? So I will say that has been a blessing, that I have seen some great organizations that have stood up and that have spoken out and that have reached back. So thank you to those, and thank you to even the ones
Absolutely.
that are even smaller, because there are some that are even smaller than, that are doing the same thing to help their neighbor. You know, they promoting, hey y'all, let's all go support, you know, this woman of color today, and
Mhm.
buy something from her, you know, and vice versa, and doing the same. It's like you said, things change when we come together and we support each other. We speak up, and we don't just say it, but we
Mhm.
offer the solution and an answer, or at least a resolution for the time at hand.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Miss Tanya,
Yes, ma'am.
I just, your resume, your CV is long. Okay.
I'm not dealing with you today.
It's
I'm not.
long. It is long. And if I was interviewing you, I'd be like, well, good Lord, me, what you don't do. Um,
Mm-mm.
so before we even go any further, I really want you to tell everyone what led you to writing your first book and what went into that and what was the motivation behind that.
The motivation was that it happened to me.
Mm.
I was stuck. I was in my own head. I did not know how to jump back into life, and I did not know how to get my mind right, because I experienced '08 in a real way. I experienced it as a newly married couple. I experienced it as a person that had just left all their family and moved across country.
Oh.
I've experienced it as a person that, between her and her husband, went through 6 bouts of unemployment in 7 years. I experienced it in one of the hardest hit areas in the country. I experienced it as a person that dealt with racism for the first time at that level in my life. I experienced it as a person that was dealing with major health issues. And so if it wasn't no job and it wasn't nobody, that meant I didn't have no insurance, and that meant I didn't have no treatment. Okay. So
Yeah.
it was all
Absolutely.
hidden, you know, it was
Mhm.
all hidden all at the same time. And I was like, sis, I'm gonna need you to go get some help. Gotta go check yourself and talk to some therapy. Get you some therapy, because Black girls, we do therapy, and we need it too. It ain't just for
Mm.
them. Gotta
Mm.
get you some therapy, and let's work all through this, because you done had a whole lot. You might have could have shook off one layoff. You might have could have shook off two, but y'all done had six, and y'all broke it in a joke, and y'all, and you sick, and you ain't got your mama here to come say today, girl. You better go talk to somebody. So sis would have talked to somebody and get started doing the work. But in the process of that, Talk with Tanya has been around over 15 years, and I had stopped writing because at the time it was just a blog, and I had stopped writing. And so I started back writing, but I had also started just writing, saying to myself, hey, I don't want anybody else to feel like this. I don't want anybody else to ever feel stuck. Not know how to get out of their own head, not know how to jump back into life. And then for somebody that sees them, loves them, cares about them, not know how to reach them or at least be there for them, or not show how to be the village that they need, right? And I want you to know how to be that village and that support. And so I just wrote it all out, Arlene, and I left it, and that was it, because I didn't know but I had got that tap on my shoulder 5 years later and was like, hey, girl, do you remember that book you wrote? I said, who wrote a book? This who you wrote a book. Matter of fact, not only did you write a book, you should have write a journal too to go with it to get your mind right journal.
Get
And
the
you gonna
companion
publish this
piece. The
thing.
companion piece.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes. You go publish this thing, and then matter of fact, you gonna go and roll out your whole company and bring all of what you have, all of who you are, all the best of what you've done, and put it in your company, because that's who you are and that's what you've always been. And so that's it. So Mind Matters, not autobiography, but it is about me being able to tell you what I've lived. And what I've lived is what I can share with you in practical tips, tools, and resources to help you get your life and get your mind right. So that is where it came from. True story. So I'm telling you, we've been talking about 2020, but I'm telling you, all of this happened in '08 with me. So if
Mm.
all this went down in '08, I can for sure give you some advice on 2020. I'm just saying. Okay. I know how to bob and weave and pivot.
What made you come up with your pillars of life?
They're the foundation of who I am first as a person, because I know if it was not for my passion, I would have never been able to know what my purpose lied. Because you can be passionate about a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
but when you know it's your purpose, it chases you. It chases you. Even if you try to put it down, it shows up. You always the one that they keep asking to do that thing, and you like, why? Because that's who I am. And so from that, I know that it's taking me in different areas, like you were talking about. You're a librarian. If you would not have been the librarian and did all those things, you wouldn't have got to this place and point in podcasting. Nothing has changed about your purpose. It's just being shown, and the vision of it is being presented in different ways so that you can help as many people as you're called and assigned to. So that's what I
Mm-hmm.
think of when it's the vision. And the destiny is where I know I'm always chasing. I know I'm always getting to. And even though it's the foundation, because I'm always changing, I'm always growing, I'm always, as Sierra said, is leveling up, it's a wheel, because it keeps
Yeah.
on turning, and I keep on growing, and I keep on going higher and higher. So that is why it's me, who I am, and my foundation. It's also the pillars of my brand, and what I do and what I show people when I work with them. I show them and I help them to see what is your foundation, and that's how we can grow and go at what we're talking about your life, whether we're talking about your organization. You got to know who you are before
Mm.
you can help and do and sell anything.
Listen, you just said a whole word in sermon for Easter Sunday, Palm Sunday,
Hey,
Christmas
it's in my
program.
DNA. It's in my Dana, so I
Yeah.
can't help
Them
it.
PKs, boy, them PKs come through. So I'm a heathen, so I don't know. Um, I've had to hold my tongue for you. I've been like, let me be polite because this is. But
Hey, don't be yourself, sis. Be
listen,
yourself. Just because
I
I'm
have
one, that
to,
don't mean I ain't got no cut up in my
I
family. I
have
got
to.
I got some whole fools, sis.
I
Some
understand.
whole fools.
You can't talk about the Lord and shoot it out. You can't do that. But so how long ago did you write your first book? How many years ago was that? I mean, when, before it was published and out there. When was it published and put out to everyone?
I wrote it 5 years before I ever published it.
So, what led to book number two?
It was not the one that was playing, y'all. That's the crazy part. It was not the one that was playing, but it was the one that was meant.
Mm,
Um, Things my mama said came from all them people, literally, still today. Listen, Erlene, I done did a whole podcast interview, and when I got done, the person was like, "Can you ask your mama would she come on my show?" I say, "What? Wait. Did you not like me? I was like,
The
hold
power of mama. The power of mama.
I said, oh, okay. I let her know. I was just like, apparently I'm a booking manager now. But I literally will always talk about her, my dad, my granny, but I talk about her the most. And so people would always just be like, I just need to meet her. I just need to talk to her. Can we have a session? And she always wanted to be a therapist and a psychiatrist anyway. She didn't finish college. She only actually did 1 year. That's a whole other story, y'all. That would be her telling y'all because the story is hilarious. It's not. She crazy. So this just oh my God. But yes. And so okay, I gotta tell y'all. So she got mad because my granny wouldn't let her go where she wanted to go. So she decided that if she couldn't go where she wanted to go, then she was just gonna have an attitude. And then she done met my daddy, and then the rest is history.
That's
I
right.
said,
Wrong
"Girl,
and strong.
did you
Wrong
really
and
just, did
strong.
you really?" I said, "You need to sit down somewhere." She said, "That's why I stay on y'all." I said, "No. I'm gonna whoop you for my granny, okay?"
Wrong
She
and
a mess,
strong.
y'all. She a mess. She a mess.
Like
But
you
she,
did anything
but
to Granny. Granny, you ain't do that to Granny. You did that to yourself.
a mess. I was like, and then she done fell in love after that, so it was
And
over.
I got a whole
But
husband
yeah.
out here in these streets.
But yes, so everybody would always talk about her and stuff. So I was like, you know what? Like, I think, and at that time, I think everybody was saying something. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go on and write things my mama said, and I'm gonna just shoot it out like that. So it's 20 sayings, some crazy stories behind some of those sayings, but it's the life lessons that we learned from it. So that was what ended up coming out as the second project, and we did a prayer journal with that. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful for it because we did a whole special book release, and it was a surprise, and we did it
Oh,
for Mother's Day. And so my brother flew in from out of town. My niece came, and we did it on Sunday at my dad's church. So we did a lot of special things, and I'm grateful because my sister that is now passed, we all did service together as a family that day.
that's
And it
nice.
is a memory that is videoed, and it was a part of the release, and it was necessary. So like you said, we both said everything happens. It was all meant. And yeah, so I'm just like, it holds even more of a special place. And knowing that not only did I write it for the readers and everyone, but my family has basically been so grateful, the extended family, because of course she got it from them. And so it's my legacy as well. It's their legacy. And so they were like, okay, but when volume 2 coming out? And so it is. I'm working on it, and it's extending to, a lot of the ones we've lost, because we've lost a lot in the past 2 years. And so it's going to have some of their sayings and some crazy stories to laugh with, life lessons as well. And it'll be volume 2, and the legacy continues. So I'm definitely excited, and my family is excited about it, and I'm excited about it too, because they've been asking. They've been asking when volume 2 coming out, and I wasn't thinking about it at first, but with everything that's happened in our family in the past 2 years, I knew it was necessary, and I knew it was important. So I'm looking forward to it. And it's a part of the healing too. Like I said, for me,
Yeah.
writing is therapeutic, and it's a part of my healing process, of everyone that I've lost, and just to share their stories with their kids or their grandkids. And it's been beautiful. So I'm really excited for what is going to come out and what's going to look like for everyone.
That's amazing. So, what is the biggest thing about your life that has surprised you with your journey?
Um, I will say, honestly, not that it surprised me because it's what I always wanted. It's just the fact that, um, I'll just say it like this: He keeps making a way. I knew I always wanted to go to college, but it was very difficult financially. It was very difficult in a lot of ways. Not the school side of it, because I'm a straight nerd, but I was the first person to graduate in my family, not just my granny, not just her kids, but even the grandkids with a college degree. And I
Mhm.
was not the first grandchild. And so to know that, as hard as it was to get the first one, I got the second one. I got the MBA.
Yeah.
And even as hard as it's been, because I'm on pause right now because of everybody that has passed, because it was a lot. I'm still going to go after my doctorate. I started it and I'm gonna finish it, and I'll probably be the first one for that. So it's that's the one, but it's so many because whenever you reach a new success, you're gonna go and want, and you're gonna strive for more, and you're gonna want to achieve more. So, but those are the ones that I look at, and I know that it took a village to get me there, and it's taken a village to keep me going, and I'm thankful for
That's amazing. Look at you, girls.
it. Listen, my mama listen, she might not have finished, but she shall be running her mouth. I'd be like, girl, stop telling everybody all my business. She be like, what? I'd be like, they be knowing before they see me.
Well, the thing about it is, I mean, she didn't finish, but she's finishing with you through you, and you're carrying on what she started. You're not gonna be
Yep.
hard headed and wrong and strong like she was. Well, if I can't go where I want to go, really,
Listen, she was a whole mess. And
she
not
had
only that, but I've encouraged her as well because the school that I went to do my training and education for my life coaching, she went too. Like, and she was nervous. Listen, y'all, she was nervous about that online school. She was so nervous, but she did it. And I was proud of her. And she finished. So, yeah, yeah. So even, she didn't finish that, this is a part of it, and she's a part of the business in a lot of ways. The book cover, that's me and her. Like, if you see the book cover, a lot of people are like, oh, that baby is so pretty. Y'all, they pretty. Because that's us. Hello.
that's that's a
So,
beautiful tribute and homage to your mom and who she is, and
mhm,
the beautiful way that she's taken what she's learned and passed on to you. Like you said, it's what she's saying, but it's not only her, it's what she's gathered as well. And that
yep,
just goes back to who we are as a people, where we
mhm,
told stories word of mouth. That's how we educated each other, by the stories, and we listened.
yep,
We took it in, we took what we needed from it and went on with it. And that's what it is. That's what
mhm,
education is. You take what you need, you cultivate it a little bit bigger, and then you pass it on. So she accomplished this, you made it bigger, and then someone else will make it bigger. That's the way it should be. That's the way it absolutely should be.
mhm.
So you have more books coming out.
Yep, motivated effort. It all starts with me. It'll come out sometime this year. Just trying to decide with everything. Do I want a virtual release or do I want to wait and do an actual full on book signing? Because I had some
Or
set
you
up,
can do
but they got
both.
canceled. Yeah, so
You
I'm
can
just
do
trying to decide. Well, I have one piece and I'm still ironing out, but once I do that, I'm just decide which one makes sense for you. So it's a book and it's a accompaniment guide that goes with that one.
nice. So where can we find all 6 of your books?
Shop.TanyaJMiller.com or Amazon or Barnes and Noble. The
Look at
books
you.
are there. The books are there on Amazon. The books are there in Amazon in print, digital, and audio. And then
Hmm.
the journals are there in print. And then on my website, I also have the books and journals as well as message merch, which basically I tell you is merch that has a purpose. So it's message tees, stickers, buttons, and mini message cards, all with a purpose that reinforces everything that I talk about and what I support and believe in. So
And I'll make sure I put all that in the
shop.tanyajmiller.com.
description. So where can we find you?
Talking with Tanya on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter is definitely where you'll see me, find me every day, providing motivation, inspiration, encouragement for where you are at. Not where I'm at, but where you're at, because that's where I want to meet you and reach you.
And do you have clients you take on one-on-one right now? Or are you doing it virtually? How are you?
Yeah, so on TanyaJMiller.com, that is where you'll find information on my coaching. So I have packages or just one-offs. You might just want to do one. So I have information on all the coaching that I offer, as well as the strategy leadership sessions that I do, even speaking. Because hey, you might want me to come speak at your virtual conference or your in-person conference, or come be a podcast guest. So
Mhm.
all that information is at TanyaJMiller.com. And as far as what I would say, my group coaching is what I do and what I have on my online school, which is classes on life and leadership that you do at your own pace. different topics that you can pick from and do. And so that's at school.tjml.com. That's, sometimes you may not be ready for the one-on-one coaching, or you may just want to focus on one thing. So that's where I have that. And I'm always dropping a class up there for you to pick from and choose.
Awesome. So I know we can find you on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, um, Smoke Signal,
YouTube.
YouTube.
I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
So before we
absolutely.
go, I want to say
Hmm.
thank you so much for coming and giving us some amazing gems and sharing your life story and your life lessons and your journey with us, and just helpful hints and tips and just common sense things that we need to just think about as women, young adults, young kids during this time, and know that
Absolutely.
there's going to be light. So before you
Yeah.
go, give us 3 or 4 gems that we need to just think about during this time just to make a way.
Number one, know that we're in this together, and that we will, as we remember to stay together, we'll do better together. So we're not alone. You may be alone in your house, but you're not alone. So reach out, as this time goes forward, that we're gradually going back to a new normal. Um, Still keep that up, keep that same energy of being sociable and interactive and connected. That's number one. Number two, I would say, understand that it may not look like how it looked before. And know that you may have to pivot with some of the way you've been doing things, how you've been spending, how you've been, just doing life. If you've been to the grocery store lately, or any type of public space, they have those plastic screens up. Those may not go away.
Right.
That may be the interaction model after this. So know that it may look different, and you just have to pivot in your mind and in your frame of mind and in your spirit to know it's a new normal, but we'll adjust. We'll get
Mm-hmm.
through this. And then the last thing I would just say is just to remain hopeful. Keep your hope up, and keep your level of joy up. Even in sadness, we can still find joy. And so find your joy. Don't let it go away. Don't let anything take it from you. Find your joy and keep your hope up, because we're in this and we'll get through this, because we are better together. So I thank you so much, Erlene, for being one that would just talk on this subject, and not just talk on it from a personal or business standpoint, but talk on it about specifically women and teens and youth, and just having the heart to, find ways to speak to them and to bring awareness that they're in this just like we are as adults. But your heart to just be able to just speak on it and share your truth and your passion for it, because it's very apparent, your passion, that we got to get back to some of our roots. We got to get back to being, as one. We got to get back to that village mindset, because we're better that way. And
Yeah.
so I thank you and I applaud you for being a
Oh.
voice in this time, that not will only cry loud, but you will offer up solutions. So
Well,
thank you,
thank
and
you.
for having me.
Stop. I just believe in doing the work. Like, I believe that you can't walk around here angry all day. You can't keep blaming or being mad at those who have hurt you. At some point in time, you have to just do the work with yourself to heal. And I
Absolutely.
also had to tell myself, closed doors can close on one side. I don't have to worry about how you close your door. As long as I close my door
Yep.
and I found my closure, it doesn't matter
Hmm.
what you have to say, what I'm looking for you to say. At the end of the day, I have to work on my own healing, and
Hmm.
I know the best for me. And so for me to live this life well with others and myself, I have to do my own personal work, because I don't like
Absolutely.
hearing anything negative into any new part of my life. And I just hope everyone takes this experience and hear these shows, not just from me, other people who've been putting out positive
Hmm.
um,
Yep.
information right now, just to keep everybody motivated and hopefully get their frame of mind back in order. But I want to say thank you
Yep.
so much. It has been a true pleasure to have you on. You have to come back again because I really enjoyed talking to you.
Always.
It was
Always.
fun.
I'm here.
It
I'm
was
ready. You
fun.
just let me know when I'm there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So everyone, please enjoy this show. You can find this show on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Google, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Facebook, and Smoke Signal, wherever podcasts are streamed. We had with us Miss Tanya J. Miller, life coach, author extraordinaire, motivational speaker, all around beautiful soul and person. Please support her, follow her. I'll have all her information in the description. Buy her 6 books, buy them companion pieces. Look out for the new book coming. She about to be a PhD pretty soon because that's going to happen in Jesus' name. And just take
Amen.
her life story and her journey and use it as motivation and know that we're all together in this, and hopefully you'll go into her classes and get some more motivation and seek her help and assistance. So Tanya, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. Everyone, thank you
Thank
for
you,
tuning
Erlene.
in. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.
Bye, y'all.